What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? And welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Once again, we're live just after the 2 o'clock hour on this beautiful March 31st, 2020. We got a lot going on in the world, but one thing that we do know is that we still have football here at TD Fans Talk, talking everything Miami Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to bring this special stream to you with a guest that needs no introduction, but you know I'm going to give it to her anyway, but none other than the queen of TD Fans Talk, Finsanity. What's going on?
TD, you're not going to make me keep, reiterating the fact that my girl Hillary, make sure you guys check out her channel, Hillary Michelle.
Hey,
Finsanity,
I'll be freestyling these intros, so if she get on me later, I'll reverse the course. Be like, okay, baby, I'll be like, baby, you the queen. Come on, now. Just try to give it.
Engraven's in the house. Hi, Sharif.
Shout out to Engraven, man. Yo, what's up, TD again? Shout out to the homie, man. Hey, Engraven, man. I'm gonna hit you up 2 days so we can figure out if a good time in the near future to do a collab, man. That'll be pretty sweet for either. You can do it over here, or we can go over there, or we can do both. It's up to you, bro.
Can I say
I'm gonna
something
talk to you in a little bit. Absolutely.
Can I say something? No one, Mr. Ballgame. Oh my gosh, how you doing, sir? No one has been putting up more videos other than you than Engraven. I'm getting a video every 30 minutes it seems from Engraven.
Engraven putting that work in, man. Hey, that's what you need, man. We have nothing. I'll be sitting there, Engraven pop up. Oh, let me watch what he's talking about. Y'all go check his channel out. You have no excuse. He just commented in the comment section. Hit the avatar, go subscribe, come back, and hey, you'll always have a good, reliable source to get football news around the league. It's not just about the Dolphins and TD Fans Talk. If you don't know what's going on around the league, you won't be up on what's going on with our own team. So just remember I said that, man. Hey, but it's time to get started, man. I got something to show y'all, okay? I have something to show y'all. So a few weeks ago, we heard the rumblings about the Miami Dolphins going to be moving up for Joe Burrow. Smoke screen tonight. I didn't believe it was a smoke screen. I basically said I think that they really would do it. Some people said it was a smoke screen. I didn't care either way because at the end of the day, I'm going to trust this organization, but I'm going to report the news either way, whether we're going or we're not. Now, stuff came out. I actually reached out to a source of mine close to the situation in the organization, not this specific situation, but close to the organization. And I was asking about this a few weeks ago. I never got a response. Okay. Today, I got more news that came my way. So I reached out and shockingly, I got a text, 4 texts back immediately. Okay. And told me a lot of stuff. Okay. And basically, this is what was given to me. And I'm going to preface it with this because y'all already know me. I'm a stickler for words. I don't like to be quoted. Of course, I would never tell who the source is because I think that would be a major violation. The source didn't tell me any 1,000% factual information. Let me be clear about that because I don't want the Miami Dolphins trying to look for who it is just in case it is pretty accurate. All right. But I was given some scenarios. I was given some trade scenarios by this individual and said, it doesn't mean we're going to do it, but these are the things that are on the board that have been discussed. Okay. And so as soon as I heard this, 20 minutes ago, I said, oh, I got to make a PowerPoint quickly. I put up the scenarios that was given to me. Okay. I put the scenarios up and this is what, presumably, I don't know how to word this so that I'm not saying that somebody told me this exactly. I wasn't told this exactly, but this is basically what the Dolphins could be giving up to try to move to number 1. Now, at the end of the day, it's still up to Cincinnati to make these things happen. But based off of what I'm hearing, these are very credible options that Cincinnati themselves would possibly truly consider. Okay, truly consider. Now, all this time, we've been talking about number 5. If we trade up, we got to get rid of number 5. Ladies and gentlemen, the scenarios I got, none of them included number 25. I mean, not 25, number 5. That's what's crazy to me. That's why I was like, oh, I got to go live. I got to make sure we hit this. I got to talk about this. Because none of the scenarios included number 5. So you mean, and I'm sitting here like, what? So you mean to tell me we trying to move up without using number 5? Without using number 5. I said, hold on, is Miami Dolphins trying to get number 1 and 5? So at that point, I said, okay, the source has been credible in the past. But at the same token, it's my job to give y'all the information. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because at the end of the day, the biggest roadblock that was told to me is it all depends on the Bengals anyway. Okay? It all depends on the Bengals anyway. Okay? Now, Finsanity, before I even show this, any thoughts that you have in regards to the move up?
Oh man, listen, you know what? And at the end of the day, because I cannot, backtrack on what I say, because this, amazing fan base that you have will be the first one to be like, well, Finsanity's backtracking. I said, well, why isn't the organization trying to get better at the quarterback position? So if we are moving up, with Cincinnati for the first, overall pick, then obviously, they're doing something that I've been looking forward to them doing. So at this point, I'm here for your scenarios. I'm here. And listen, if you can get 1 and get 5, oh my. Now, listen, if Simmons is off the board, that's okay, because now you're looking at what? Your offensive tackle. So now you could possibly get Wirfs. You don't have to wait till 18 to get Willis. Listen, the one thing that we did on the last stream, that I think was me, you, and Reason, we were talking about how we had all these, draft picks and how we were going to get rid of them because our roster is so loaded with players right now who we might necessarily want to get rid of. So it kind of makes sense to kind of unload them and get some future draft picks. But at this point, I have to see these scenarios, because if you're telling me we can keep 1 and 5, to me, it doesn't make sense, TD. None of this is adding up. Why would Cincinnati move out of the top 5 knowing that they need a quarterback? Are they putting all their chips in for Trevor Lawrence next year? But if you look at Cincinnati's, draft scenario, they're only picking first in each round. That's it. They do not have that much capital. And they have a team that's in a division that is getting better rapidly fast. And they're not at a point right now where they're going to be able to catch up. The Browns are loaded. The Ravens are still loaded. Don't let a first, round, divisional round exit, confuse you. Lamar Jackson's only going to get better, and they're only going to get more stacked on that defense. And then the Steelers, they're getting Big Ben back. So I could see it happening. I could see them, taking another year off. They're not one of those teams or one of those owners who are worried about necessarily winning right now, but they do have to get better. They do have to put them in themselves in a position to compete within the next 5 years, or what? They're going to be like the Dolphins for the next 20? I don't know, TD. I do not know how they move out of the top 5, TD. We must be giving up a lot for them to sit here, because they have a lot of positions they have to fill. But to me, that's a lot for you to move out of the top 5 and let a team sit with 2 top 5 picks. If they could pull that off, I don't want to hear nobody say nothing about Greer ever again.
Based off of what you're saying, and by the way, I think you text me. I don't know if you meant to send that to me. I think you meant to send it to somebody else. But it was about 20 minutes ago, I believe. But look at it this way. Mm-hmm. Cincinnati does have a decision to make, and here's why. Okay, if you get Joe Burrow and you don't have all the necessary pieces to put around him, how many years is he going to get killed until you catch up to putting everything he needs around him to give him success? I mean, they need so many pieces that I don't even think I think that they realize it's not even I can't say I think they realize. I mean, what they realize could be totally different. But I think that that's something that they have to consider. Do we get our guy now, but then let him go through 2 or 3 years of just abuse? And have that kind of drama? That's not going to be a good look. And I think that just like us, they may consider filling the roster first. And hold on, Fitzandy, I actually Reason text me, and he's okay. Yeah, he backstage. My bad. I got this thing on the other screen. I couldn't see him. One moment. Let me bring Reason in as well. What's up, Reason?
What's good, bro?
What's up, homie? Hey, what's going on, man? You see your tone. It was like I'm okay, but like what's going on? Talk to me.
Because I'm afraid of what you're gonna say. Because I follow this guy on social media. His name's Drew Goodberry. He's like connected with the Bengals organization, and he's been like, because I don't know if all y'all are on Dolphins Twitter, but there's this one dude, Alejandro. His whole thing is to troll Chargers fan and to troll Bengals fans, and it's hilarious. Anyways, this Goodberry guy, this Burrow stuff keeps coming up. Like, I know Armando put out that article this morning, and that kind of set everyone off on fire. And he was one of the first people Drew Goodberry was one of the first people to respond, because he's been consistent that from what he understands, it's going to take like 3 or 4 first-round draft picks. And I don't know whether that's what you've heard, but my problem with that is he's not worth that. That's my okay. That's if that's what it is. Like, I know a lot of people are like, they talk about Tua and they're like, I don't want to give up 2 or 3 first rounds for Tua, right? And I get that because of the durability. But if he was purely healthy, I would think the talent warrants that. My problem with Burrow is I don't think the talent warrants 2 to 3, like, crazy as it sounds. Love and Herbert's ceilings, because they're so high, to me warrant an investment. Well, I don't think they're worth that, but they would warrant that investment a little bit more to me than a guy like Burrow, because I don't think, look at it this way. I don't think you're going to see Burrow perform at a higher level than what you saw last year. I really honestly see this guy as a 25 to 30 touchdowns a year, anywhere from 10 to 13 interceptions a year. This guy's not going to he doesn't have the arm strength to light people up for 40 or 50 touchdowns in the NFL at the faster speed. That's why I don't see that. Like Herbert, as much as he needs development, at least he's got the arm strength where if you properly grow him and properly develop him, because he's got that cannon, he could probably throw 40 or 50 because he could thread. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't see that with Burrow, and that's what worries me, man. And I don't think he's worth 3. I even cringe at 2. I mean, I'd do it, but I don't. Oh man, I'm so afraid of what you're about to say.
Go ahead. I think this comes in to what Miami, like what I was always saying, Tua, Burrow, and nothing else. Like, that's always been my mindset with the quarterbacks, because with the defense you have right now, a defense that once together is going to be ready to compete, you really don't have time to just be sitting on a defense like that. Me and TD were talking about, look how fast the Legion of Boom dismantled just because the money came involved with all of that. So unless we are absolutely 100% going to, every year strike it on the defensive player that we bring into this organization, then how long do we have to develop the guys like Herbert and Jordan Love? But this is what I think it all comes full circle, because if you think about it, the article came out, but then it also came out that Tua was, fully, recovered and ready to compete, because everybody knows at this point, Tua can either drop because of the COVID, that's out right now, because no one's able to get in there and see what's really going on. Only news we're getting from is from his personnel, his camp. So
they say he's fully healthy now. So
yeah, but how blindly do you go into this? And my thing is like this: say Burrow goes 1 to Cincinnati, right? Mm-hmm. And he says that Tua's tape is only going to the NFL. Well, please do not think that this tape is not going to get leaked. It will get leaked somehow, some way. Everything always gets leaked right before the draft. Can you imagine everybody's fan base if that tape looks amazingly well? What you now are going to have to mortgage to move up to go get him, because so many teams are going to be looking at that, and so many teams' fan bases are going to be saying, "Go get me that guy." So it's kind of like right now we're just so blinded that it's like, do you take option A, the healthy guy, no offense, or option B, the maybe healthy guy?
Now let me, man. Oh my God!
And I just want to say about Riddle's comment. Like, I've seen multiple dig routes that he rips it in there for the receiver and the numbers as soon as they turn with coverage all around him. Like the LSU game, I can literally pinpoint a play because it's in my write-up. It's a perfect example. He hits Judy, and it's right after Tua manipulates Cordell Flott to move a step away from his throwing mark. And then at the last second, Tua shifts back to Judy and rips the pigskin right in between Flott and star linebacker Patrick Queen. So I think Tua's arm strength is slept on. Tua has a way stronger arm than Joe Burrow. The thing is, Tua's arm just doesn't add up to a Justin Herbert or Jacob Eason. So I just wanted to address that comment that like there's tons of dig routes, there's a ton of button hook routes where he zips it in there as soon as they turn around. So I don't believe that Tua has a weak arm by any stretch of the imagination. It's different. Like here's an example. Anthony brought it up on that late night panel with you guys, and I was going to bring it up eventually. I had it in my notes. One thing I've been hearing about Justin Herbert Bengals, because it's been rumbling all over again, the cold weather thing is an issue with Burrow's arm. Like it is an issue. You will see that be an issue with Burrow in cold weather, whereas Justin Herbert, because he has a cannon, that ball is just going to rip through cold weather. You're not going to see that problem with Tua. Tua has a strong enough arm. But Joe Burrow, you're going to see that problem. I'm telling you right now, Anthony, he made a good point when he brought that up because I had that in my notes. That's a legitimate thing that I've heard coming out of the Bengals camp about Burrow's arm.
So, well, let me preface me beginning to talk by saying that I think this is going to be a great conversation. It's going to be a great stream because there's a lot to discuss on this because y'all make some good points. And I love especially I'm glad you came in today because I love the opposition of this, the things to consider because and I need you, don't take it easy on us because the reason why I say that is I need the voice of reason to kick back on everything I'm about to say if you see it fit, okay? Mm-hmm. Not only that, just because I want this to be a back and forth. So because I'm about to talk and I'm going to ask y'all to allow me to continue to talk because there's a lot that I need to say. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be rambling almost, but it's with the purpose, okay?
Go ahead.
All right, so first and foremost, I personally think Joe Burrow is NFL ready and I don't have those concerns. I think that this kid has won multiple big games in 1 year. I know, and some people bring up the 1 year thing, but what I saw from this kid when I watch his film, I've been watching a little bit more lately because this thing has been seeming more and more real. But I've been changing my mind on how good he looks. I just researched yesterday that this kid under pressure had the highest rating in college football. Literally on every single quarterback in college football under pressure situations, their passer rating fell. He is the only one whose passer rating went up to a 140 something. I forgot the exact number, 43 or 48. Know how those can get misstrued. But his actually went up in tight window situations under pressure, highest in college football. I also love his pocket presence. The way he moves in the pocket, the way that he feels the defense and steps up. That's what I do love about Joe Burrow. Again, you know me, I'm a stickler here. Hey, you still got elite receivers and all this and that. So there's something to be said about that when you ask me, okay? Mm-hmm. But I want to open people's mind because when I show you this PowerPoint that I just made based off of information that I got that's being thrown out there as possibilities, mm-hmm. I want y'all to open your mind. Just because we're trying to secure the number one pick, let's get one thing straight. We're probably going to talk a lot about Burrow being that guy, but that doesn't mean it's for Joe Burrow. Let's get that straight first, okay? Just because we're talking about moving up to number one doesn't mean it's for Joe Burrow. If we do move up to number one, TD does feel like it is for Joe Burrow at this point.
No, it's for sure for Joe Burrow.
For sure.
Not for Chase. It's not for Chase Young. It's not.
But some people on the flip side reason, if we're able to acquire the first and fifth pick, feel like it might be for a Chase Young and still get Tua at 5. So don't discount those scenarios as well. or another guy at 1 and still get Tua at 5.
There's too much. There's been too much smoke around Joe Burrow, and from what we understand, Stephen Ross is a fan of Joe Burrow, and he always gets enamored with a quarterback every year. So I think it's pretty much, you're right. It's a given that it's for Burrow. I won.
And I agree. I just have to throw that out there. Because,
I actually think the 5th is going to be taken. I think that 5th is going to be kept for a tackle or Derek Brown, because they were at the Auburn they're at the Auburn Pro Day. They were working with Derek Brown and that corner with that ridiculously complicated last name, but they were working with Derek Brown a lot. So I think it's either going to be a tackle or on either side of the ball. I
agree. I actually agree. Yeah. I would agree with that. I'm about to put this up because I'm gonna stop people from waiting on what they've been wanting to see. Here are 3 scenarios.
Hold on. Mr. Ballgame would like the link real quick, please.
Oh, my bad. One moment.
And let me just preface all this. I've said Tua and from day one, I've said Tua and Burrow are the most polished in the NFL already. The only thing is, because of Burrow's ceiling, I don't want to give up the house. And because of Tua's durability, I've said I don't want to give up the house. So I agree they're the most polished. I'm just not ready to give up the house for either one of those, and those being the basic reasons.
I'm glad you said that, because I want to talk about giving up the house before I show this PowerPoint. I keep delaying this PowerPoint, but he keeps making great points. But, well, you know what? I can't get on you, Reason, because I want you to see the scenarios first before we say giving up the house.
Yeah, if I fall off the screen, it's because I have a heart attack.
It's no. It's pretty cut clear, though, Reason. It's not like a obscene thing here.
Yeah.
But let me read this donation first, and then I'm gonna put it on the screen, and then we're gonna talk about it, guys. All right. Shout out to Jose Perez with a $10 donation. Said we give up the 18, 26, 56, and Josh Rosen for 1st overall. We still have 2 top 5 picks and an early 2nd round. Would this be possible? I would take Young 1st and Tua 5th or Love 5th. Interesting. I've never been a proponent of taking Love at 5, by the way. If that's
can I ask all of you this, all panel members this, all answer this. With what we've done with free agency, is Chase Young even a need at 1 right now?
Yep. Let me tell you why.
I don't think so.
But you're bringing Chase Young in on a rookie deal. Now you have another trade asset. And put it like this, Reason. You have 4 years of Chase Young at the price that you have him at, versus taking somebody that you just paid and putting them in a trade package and they got a 2-year deal. Do you want the 4 years Chase Young, or you want the 2-year guy? Pick whatever one you want. Do you want Ogba?
I'd rather take Simmons at 1 and find our safety.
Well, I agree with that. I would love to take Simmons, but I'm just saying I don't think Chase Young is out of the picture if he's there. One again, we're getting our quarterback. Hold on. All right, let me continue real quick. I'm gonna get to you real quick,
dog. Put the PowerPoint up, bro.
I know, right? That's what I'm delaying on. Hold on. All right, let me just go ahead and throw the PowerPoint up.
Ball game nervous right now.
It ain't nothing. It's simple. It's not, guys. It's not even a shocker. It's just realistic, okay?
We can start the season right now, and I'll be happy with what we did on defense. I'm a defensive guy first, so for me, all this talk about offense this and offense that is fine, but I thrived on defense. I coach defense, so if we can get the ball back, even the most subpar offense should be able to at least score some points. So
hold on. Are these real?
I just gave you. Number one is what we have right now. Number 1 is what we have right now. Number 2 and number 3 are scenarios that's possible.
Oh my God.
So you have to look through it and see what we got rid of in this year and next year. Now, what was told to me as well, I should have wrote it down at the bottom. This does not include potential players that could be added into it to get it over the top.
Yo, he's not.
So we give up.
There's no way we're doing. I mean, listen. I done sat here through this whole process of social distancing and went back and watched God knows how much film on Tua and on Joe Burrow. And I'm telling you right now, we would be the laughing stock of the NFL if we gave up anything remotely close to any of these options for this.
No. We're not giving these up. This is what we have left.
I want to see. No, I want to show me what.
Okay. Let me explain.
I know what picks we got.
Oh, I thought this was
right.
packages. I thought this was packages.
Sorry. Y'all forgive me.
Bro, I was having a heart palpitation.
No way.
Hey, I'm one day early on April Fools, I guess. I'm one day early. All right. So let me give you. I should have did it the opposite way. You're 100% correct. All right. In option 2, we'd be getting rid of the 18th pick, the 26th pick, and one of our first round picks next year. That is a 3 first rounders sitting. 18, 26, and next year. I don't know which one, whether it's ours or Houston's. I don't. I just know this year's 18, 26, and next year's first round pick.
Do it.
Okay. You say do it. Now, option number 3 is the one that I'm most in love with. It's giving away number 18, number 26, and giving away number 39 second round this year and next year's second round pick. So the first option is 3 first rounders. The second option is 2 first rounders and 2 seconds. But the reason why I like option 3 the most is because next year I think Houston's pick is going to be so valuable. I really do think it's going to be very valuable. But what you see on the board right now in option 2 and option 3, option 1 as well, if we don't make any trades, which one would you go with? Would you give away option 2 to 3 first round picks, but it has nothing to do with number 5? It's 18, 26 and next year. Or would you give away option 3, which still has nothing to do with number 5? Is 18, 26 and 2 second round picks, one this year, one next year.
How much is the cost going to be for 2 first round picks in the top 5?
In the top 5, let me look it up. Give me a second.
So that matters too. We only got $22 million to work with.
Yo, Mike Brown turned down 6 draft picks for Achilles Smith.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, has this is from what you understand? Have these been tabled or are these being?
From what I understand, it's what we possibly are willing to offer.
Oh, so it's what we're willing to offer. It's not what's been discussed in terms of between both teams.
Exactly. These are closer to the packages that we're willing to actually consider. Yeah. Because everybody sit up here and talk about what we would do and what it'll take. It doesn't matter what it'll take. Really, the only thing that matters is what we are willing to do.
Okay. So guide me through this one more time. Option 1, what are we giving up here?
That's nothing. That's just our current picks. We leave that same.
What we have.
Option 2, we give up the 18th, the 26th, and a first
3 first round picks.
Option 3 is
2 first round picks and 2 seconds.
18, 26, 39th, and a second next year or something.
And again, the only thing that I don't know is players could be included to bring it over the top. Now that's the wild card, and that's a tough one. Because if you talk about an X, then it looks more realistic. But if you talk,
yeah, if you're gonna put a gun to my head and obviously I'm gonna sit here and say option 1.
Option 1.
But if you're gonna put a gun to my head between 2 and 3,
going with 3.
I'm actually gonna take 2. And the reason why I'm gonna take 2 is I'm gonna move them onto the Dolphins pick next year because I expect it to be in the 20s anyway. So whatever, keep the Houston pick.
But what if they want? What if they want the Houston pick?
Yeah, that's gonna. I mean, it just depends on what they want.
Then we move in option 3.
They're sitting looking at the same thing we're looking at, and they know what picks we have.
Option 3 smells like there's a body involved.
Yeah,
right.
But
option 3 smells like there's a body going the other way. 2 added to those.
That's still a lot. If you think about it,
it's a lot, Mr. Ballgame. But you know what? It makes you realize. It makes you realize that you still ain't giving up the farm.
We moving 4 spots previous to the 1 spot that we already picking inside of the top 5 to go get one guy, and giving up, and we'll possibly have to give up a player, right?
I don't see them missing out on Herbert too. I think either Herbert's their number 1 on their board or number 2. I think it's that close between Burrow and Herbert for them.
So the question I have for you is, if these things are presented on the table, would you do any of them? Like, forget if a gun was to your head and all of that stuff. Like, literally, if Miami makes any of these deals, do you say, what were we thinking? If Cincinnati accepted, do we say, what were you thinking? Or do we say, oh, okay, we got our franchise guy? And number 5, whoever that is for you, Simmons, Brown, I don't know.
3 is nice because you keep your 2 first next year.
Well, you'd have to try to figure out a way. Then at that point, listen, my thought process would be that what do the Cincinnati Bengals need more than anything right now at this point? They're in the same position. They need players to be able to stop people from scoring on them, right? So we don't give up anything. They need a secondary. So that means we'd be shipping out maybe Xavien to them.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Which then at that point doesn't necessarily create a huge void for us. But at the same time, if you're still on the board at that point and you go up to go get Joe Burrow,
Okudah.
Yes, sir, Jeffrey Okudah. Right?
So is Okudah better than X?
Yeah.
A younger version,
he
could be.
Potential to be.
He
Potential.
He could be.
Oh, I know he is. I was just asking y'all.
And he's cheaper.
I think he.
I didn't want to sound like a hater.
He could be like Jalen Ramsey in Jalen Ramsey's prime. That's what.
Yeah, that would definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, ease my heart and my broken spirit about losing X. Because I just for one season want to see this Byron Jones X.
So do I.
Combination, man. Like, don't blow it up, please. Don't blow it up if we don't have to blow it up before. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if we get one season out of it, I get to see what it looks like. And then they send him next year. They send him somewhere next year. That's fine. But dang, give us at least one season of it, man. Jeez.
Yeah, but if we give up X, how much cap does that give us after that?
15 million.
15 million.
More.
15 and a half.
And you'll be getting a quarter. What?
Excuse me. It depends on the structure. It might even be better because his was no, it'll be about 15. Y'all right.
Yeah.
And the Bengals cut Dre Fitzpatrick today too, so they definitely need DB.
And we're not paying the number 1 overall pick 15.
Yeah, the number 1 overall pick's gonna get something like what that thing you sent me reason the other day? It was like
Oh, that was just all for how much each our pick is
gonna be,
but
right?
If the number 5 has a cap hit of 5.5, I'm gonna gauge
7.
It's probably around 8. Yeah,
8,
7 or 8 would be my
8.
gauge. Yeah.
What's up, y'all?
What up?
Hey, man. I guess I don't think that I would question them on what they were thinking right now because of the situation we are with like COVID and not being able to actually like scout players the way that we want. I'd be okay with option 3. That's it, I mean, you go after you gotta at least give some consideration into like going after Burrow, man. I mean, I think he's legit. That's just my opinion. I believe he's legit. I like the way he handles broken plays and making something happen out of nothing. I think that's going to transition because of his instincts. So as long as you can get him maybe in that option 3 and get him at least left tackle with that 5th pick, a top left tackle, that's what we got to concentrate on is whatever quarterback we get.
So then what we're going to do about it? We still got to hold that nose tackle.
Yeah, for sure.
And what running back are we getting? Because we're now out of the top 3.
You know what that smells like? Option 3, Clyde's Edward-Helaire.
Exactly. Like minus like this at that point. Like, because who's still gonna be?
Can I ask something?
The O-line's gonna. I mean, we're still gonna have with that option 3. You should still be able to get another lineman for the future. If you can get these guys to even just halfway block decent, we're gonna be better than last year. I think our running game is going to be better. So I think we'll be all right.
Running game going to be definitely dependent upon the growth.
Y'all forgive me, but option 2 has a typo. I have 3 first rounders in there when the third one is a round 2 pick number 39.
Yeah.
Just so
yeah.
So I don't want people's eyes to be like, whoa, pull the trigger. No, that's the second round pick.
See, here's another thing though. Like the reason why I don't totally like I haven't totally sold into like the articles that Armando put out and stuff. It's like I know everyone was talking about J.K. Dobbins, how we got him in for a workout because he was actually working out in the Miami area, but no one is talking about the fact that we got Jordan Love in before we brought in Herbert, before we scheduled anything with Burrow.
Right.
And before we were trying to schedule a thing with Tua, the first quarterback we brought in before all this COVID and the only one was Jordan Love.
See, I know that for sure reason because that was a part of my
it was reported too.
It was a part of the question that I asked. You already know who, and I'll talk to you later about that. But just put it like this: it's still part of the plan. But remember, it's the secondary. It's the secondary option in that regards. Because if the guy is there and they can go get him, because let me tell you what I like about these options. We're not giving up the farm the way it seems.
So basically, if they can't trade up for Burrow, if let's say a guy like, I don't know, 2 isn't there at 5, Jordan Love becomes the option? Or is Jordan Love the option?
You already know that's what I've been said, but here's the deal.
Is it more serious though? Like
what people
don't have to tell me everything, but is it more serious? Like
no, it's just steady. It's the same thing. Okay. You see what I mean? So nothing's changed. Yeah, but nothing's changed. But at the same token, that's your insurance.
Yeah,
I'll just put it like that. That is your number one insurance option. If we go opposite of that, I'd be shocked now because I'm in true believe. I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it. But what people need to understand is when I say we're giving up 3 first rounders or 2 first rounders in 2 seconds, you're not. You're giving up 2 first rounders because you're getting one back, and it's the biggest one you can have. So technically, the deal is giving away 2 first rounders, or the deal is giving away 1 first rounder in 2 seconds. So we need to really look at it in that perspective.
I get that.
And I don't think that these options are giving up the farm at all. I think it's actually, and this is why for me, it's more likely to not happen because Cincinnati wants to take us over the head. They want us to actually probably give up 4 first rounders and get one back, which
they want to beat. They want to beat somebody.
They want to profit 3.
Yeah.
They want to profit 3 first rounders, not what this is proposing is them profiting 2.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's unlikely to happen either way. But I'm not going to ignore these options, man, because Cincinnati, just like Mr. Ballgame keeps alluding to, if we really want to sit here and say, put the Dolphins to the side, we love the Cincinnati Bengals. What do we need to do? We all know we got to scrap it up and get as many picks as we can and start making talent on this roster before the quarterback. They're even further behind us they are even further behind us before our last season when we got rid of Tunsil and everything. You may not notice that because they have pieces of talent on the team, but they're further behind us because a lot of those guys are in bad deals. A lot of those guys are in deals that are stretched out. They're in trouble.
They're old.
Especially,
especially
defensively.
And I think they franchise AJ Green because they know without a shadow without finding a top talent receiver to come there willingly is going to be hard. So they hit him with the tag to force his hand essentially to stay there.
But what was the main talking point because I don't know if you know, but at the interview at the Combine with Joe Burrow, the Bengals had, Mike Brown sat in on it, right? Yeah. And what was the main talking point that came from that? Joe Burrow told them directly to their face, you got to re-sign or tag AJ Green. That was the number one thing Joe Burrow told them.
So
and that was the first thing they
Burrow
did.
Told them, I never heard of this. So refresh us.
Oh, yeah.
Burrow sat down in his interview and told them, you need to keep AJ Green.
That was the number one talking point. He said, you need to keep AJ Green and you need to start spending money in free agency. And it was all because of remember I was talking about months ago about the Jordan Palmer and to the Carson Palmer and the TJ Houshmandzadeh connection. That turned up true. And in the interview, he flat out told them the number one thing coming out was get AJ Green handled. And they franchise tagged him.
Which makes... I mean, he got leverage, bro.
But that confuses me, ball game. That confuses me that he has leverage. If he has leverage, then why wouldn't he automatically be lobbying for what's best for his future anyway? which is trade this pick because I don't want to come here.
Well, I don't necessarily believe that it's not that he doesn't want to go there. I believe it's that based on their current state of where they are right now, it's not as enticing to him to go there. But if they do certain things, I think he'll be willing to go there and scrap it out and be their guy. But they have to do certain things to prove to him that they're willing to spend the money to make things better, because all of the other previous people that he have around him are telling him, dude, don't go there, bro. Like, they don't want to spend no money. They don't want to win type of thing. And he's saying to himself, I think internally he's saying, I'm not y'all. I hear what y'all saying. But if they want me, they're going to have to do these things to get me and keep me there and have me come in. I'm willing to go, but they got to do these things. And if they do these things, I'll go on my own terms.
And ball game. And what did they do also after they franchised AJ Green? What did you see them doing? The Bengals were spending money in free agency. and you hadn't seen that in years. And those are the two things that came out. And I'm telling you guys, dude, with Mike Brown sitting in on that interview, that's bigger than a coach. That's the owner and the guy who makes all the personnel calls sitting down and basically saying, what do you want? And
give me your wish list.
And everything that supposedly came out of that interview, you start seeing unfold with the AJ Green and then the spending money in the free agency. So I don't know, man.
That makes me feel like if the Dolphins really wanted to go to number one, then they're going to have to lose on the trade.
Yeah,
they're going to have to give up an additional first rounder on both of the scenarios.
I thought they were pretty clear, though. I thought they were pretty clear from the beginning when they said that in order for anyone to come up and get this pick, it's going to take 4 first-round picks. That's what they said. They said that a long time ago, and I haven't seen anything that would suggest to me that they came off of that. Yeah. They're going to stay pat with that because they know at this point that they have 2 guys in this draft right now. One who's hurt, one who's coming back from being injured, and one who just proved he was the best college player on the national stage for a whole season and broke and set records in the NCAA. Talent like that at the same position ain't coming out that often. So they know their worth. They know how valuable that pick is. That's my opinion. They know how valuable that number 1 pick is this year. Some other years previously, maybe not so much. But this year in particular, there are teams that have – I believe there are teams right now that have veteran quarterbacks that if they had the capital, they would still go up and grab one of these 2 kids. You know what? Just because longevity for you is going to always be sustained longevity in the game and playing at a consistent basis and a high level is always going to be important. And since they put so much focus on the quarterback position being that one key spot.
And ball game, what makes you just, I'll say this quick. What makes you think they're going to have the reason why Tua and Burrow are the most polished to me is because when you break down their mechanics, their footwork, their upper body work, they are compact, tight, repeatable, consistent motions. And when you look at Breeze, when you look at Brady, when you look at these guys who are lasting to their 40s, what does it all come down to? Their mechanics outweigh their arm strength.
Right.
But anyways, go on, Insanity.
But come on, like, Joe Burrow is not worth 4 first.
No.
Nobody is.
Wait. Let me finish my point because I know we're all on the same page. But that's basically like the Bengals saying, "Hey, man, listen, if you didn't want to be here and you wanted to reach out to other organizations, we've set our market price now. It's way overboard. But if they're so enamored, if they're so in love with you, they'll give it all up for you, Joe." But if not, guess where you're going to be at next year?
Well, here's the kicker.
In Cincinnati.
Yeah, right? And I agree 100% with that. But here's the kicker. Here we are right now doing a discussion about the very same thing in regards to the fact that the Miami Dolphins may actually be considering actually even trying to go even get this pick. So somewhere, somehow, what we've said in regards to he's not worth 4 first, TD has sat down and somebody has given him all these different options that they're coming up with to actually essentially say, we want to move up to go get this kid. So it doesn't really matter now at this point, right? The market has been set. The Bengals have made it apparently they have made it inherently clear that they want a boatload of draft capital, or could be people too, in order to even get the option to even have a chance at this kid. And they're basing this completely on the fact that dude had a remarkable historic
Yeah.
season.
Arguably the greatest ever by a college quarterback.
Exactly.
Hold on. Because I want to address something. Hold up. I'm sorry. I want to address something in the comment section.
I think it's brilliant. I think the Bengals are brilliant for it.
Daniel Manning said, hold up.
They're in the right.
Hold up. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Daniel Manning said, how many quarterbacks taken number 1 overall has won the Super Bowl in the last 30 years? Daniel Manning, when a quarterback is taken first overall, normally the team sucks. Normally the team is horrible. But what has the Dolphins done? They've reassured their defense. They've brought some offensive line pieces, which we know they're going to build upon. And they even core intact. We're pretty much a running game away and a first overall quarterback away from being somewhat competitive in this division. And even further with that is that we have 4 picks right now before Buffalo even picks 1. So we're in a lot of better shape than a lot of first overall
Yeah, but if you want last year's pick was a number 1 overall pick, and everybody's raving about him, Kyler Murray. So we're just in a different time.
Let me jump in real quick, guys. This number 1 pick thing, I hate number 1 pick because the truth is there's a lot of more number 1s don't make it than they do.
Right.
But that's been proven now. It's a fact now. We can rave about Kyler Murray all we want. I mean, we raved about Cam Newton, MVP. Look at him now. Look at this man now. Do we realize that there are 3?
Kyler Murray is a way better passer than Cam Newton ever.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? The future can still end up being the same. I don't think it will. I'm just saying. Do we realize that there are 3 former first-round pick quarterbacks available right now out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not first round. Number 1 overall.
And since 2010, the only first overall pick with a Super Bowl ring is an offensive tackle, Eric Fisher, for the Kansas City Chiefs. But what I was going to sit here and say was
go get old lineman.
2 things. 1, if they all of a sudden fall in love with Herbert and by some miracle Herbert goes number 1, book it in. Joe Burrow will be a Dolphin because everything that they're planning on packaging, that'll be enough to move up to number 2 or 3 or wherever they want to move to go get Joe Burrow.
Who's taking Herbert at 1?
Oh,
I said Cincinnati by some miracle. I said.
Hold on,
it's not. Reason. Reason. I was listening to what you were saying though, dude. Like in real talk though, that's real. That's realistic logic though. When you think of the fact that 60% of the games that we played at home in Cincinnati will be played in inclement weather.
Oh yeah.
So the arm strength thing and all that type of stuff.
You want to know what it is, ball game? You want to know what Joe Burrow is? You want to know what Joe Burrow is, ball game? And I'll be the first one to tell you. He's a dome quarterback arm. His arm is made for a dome. It's not made. Yeah. It's not made for cold weather and serious weather conditions. It's just not. I'm telling you right now.
So it sounds like Stephen Ross and Joe Burrow is compromising. So we did the half roof.
He and Mr. Tagovailoa. I think neither one of those guys have what I would consider elite arm strength. So they both fall into the same category in that regard for me. Maybe your assessment is a little different.
I think Tua's
got a little more zip. Yes, I agree with that. I think a lot of his is more so the fact that as a lefty, the ball is coming out differently as well.
So
you know what I mean?
Let me
throwing mechanics from my left. Go ahead.
That's if he still has it though, man.
There's a guy I'm pretty in with. And his whole thing is analyzing and breaking down quarterbacks. Me and this guy DM, that's what his whole account, his whole thing is just based on like isolation, all that jazz, like isolation of quarterback, film, et cetera, et cetera. This is what he said 3 days ago. Entire Bengals staff was with Justin Herbert all Senior Bowl week. Zach Taylor shares similar academic temperament as Justin Herbert. I think the Bengals are not taking Burrow. He's already acted immature regarding going to Cincinnati. Don't be shocked if it's Herbert to Cincy at 1. And that's not even going off the arm strength. When you saw Brian Callahan, I shared in that private chat with you guys. Brian Callahan, that video, the offensive coordinator of the Bengals, you saw the video, and I know Ball Game at least watched it. Brian Callahan was absolutely gleaming over Justin Herbert. and that he was taking his first ever snaps under center were under that coaching staff. So I'm not saying it's going to happen.
If that comes out to be true, man,
it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not saying it's
but let me give y'all the reason why there's a 0.0000001% chance of that happening, almost non-existent. Because if the Bengals say, just hypothetically say, undercover, we're really taking Herbert, then yes, they have to trade the number 1 pick. Why would they? Even if it was, you gotta go ahead and get assets if Herbert is the goal anyway.
That's why I was going to say my other second point was going to be I was going to go off that Herbert. If we want to get Burrow and Burrow demands a trade, the best way to make that trade is not pre-draft. You move up to 3 or whatever. You draft Herbert, and then you turn around after you draft Herbert.
Trade Herbert to them, and you get Burrow.
You give Herbert and a couple of picks, and you say, there you go. Now there's our trade. And that'll be a better package than the one of these two,
Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning.
Exactly. That's what I would do. If Burrow doesn't want to be there, that's what I would do.
But here's the thing, though. Now, at that point, if you do that, if we do that, then the price for the swap is not nearly as huge. And we're not paying as much to move up to 3.
Yep.
But it's risky.
But you guys,
always risk, bro.
Pre-draft option 3. If you still have this many first-round picks, the only way that I see that's still relevant is if we put an offer on the table, and now since he is coming back to the realization they're reconsidering, and their first stance has been watered down, and they're no longer demanding 4 first-rounders. That's what I feel. If whatever source TD has is saying this, I believe that's what's going on now, is that they've gone back on what their first stance was, which was 4 first-round picks. Is we put an offer on the table.
No, this is an offer.
They've come back.
This has nothing to do with them.
No, this is what we're willing to give up, not anything.
Yeah, I don't want people to get confused. If I got somebody from Cincinnati talking to me. TD does not have anybody from Cincinnati telling him one thing. Let me be clear.
And I want to also say, TD, that guy who I referenced earlier, Drew Goodberry, who's connected to the Bengals. Another thing that's been pitched to him, because there's one guy, Jason Sarney, he runs Fin Maniacs now, I believe, and they were talking, and he said, "What about the 5th, the 18th, and the 26th?" And Drew Goodberry said, "I don't even think that would be enough."
5, 18, 26.
Yeah, he's like, "I don't think that'll be enough."
No.
See, here's the wild card in all these scenarios. Does it change if Xavien Howard is included?
It has to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But how does Cincy feel then?
But then again, does it ball game? Because if Quentin Dunbar only got a 5th, what is again, Dunbar was the 2nd highest graded corner last year. What is Xavien Howard?
Yeah, but see,
he's
that's
injured. Thing. What is he going to garner?
Different scenario though.
Yeah, but is its value? What I'm saying is his value a 2nd or a 3rd in that?
Man,
because it's going to become what does his value add? I'm trying to put his value in perspective of what it would weigh as a draft pick connected to what we would have to give up actual draft pick wise.
Probably
I think that the difference though comes in like 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks. Like, hey, we also throwing you a 3rd. Oh, we're also throwing you a 4th. Okay. I think that's where that difference is easily made up.
I think Washington was just stupid, man, and they just went through a process of not wanting to at any point meet the dude. It was only $1 million difference that he wanted in the salary, and they could have still had him. But when they, it's the same. It ain't no different than what we did when we could have had Drew Brees. Dumb decision, missed out on a quality guy. Now he in Seattle, and he gonna ball for Seattle. He gonna make their secondary just that much better. And I don't know. I mean, Washington. I think at that point, Washington was just looking to get whatever they could get before he was gone for good, without ever having to have him at all. You feel what I'm saying? So they took what they took what was offered. And I think Seattle, without a shadow of a doubt, know they got to steal. And he may be without a shadow of a doubt the steal of the free agency. That guy is Quentin Dunbar was efficient. I mean, he was the epitome of lockdown when you look at his numbers. Like, you're not throwing over there at him, and and the receivers ain't catching a whole lot of balls. But the relationship's sour, you know what I mean? And unfortunately,
I want to ask all y'all, ball game. When we talk about value, right? And I don't want y'all to think about what we actually got for the player, but I want to really know if you had Joe Burrow in this league and he was the guy you wanted, and we still had Laremy Tunsil on our team, what would you send the team if you had to send Laremy Tunsil? What else would you send in order to get Joe Burrow right now?
I ain't
Don't worry. Don't think about. Well, that may be an option too, but don't think about what we got for Tunsil. But what would you send if anybody was sending anything? If you could go get Joe Burrow, what would you send with Tunsil?
Well, let's see. So realistically, the process works where I get on the phone, I call you, and I say, "Hey, what do you need? What do you need?" Right? And then they go through. They say, "Well, let me get back to you." They go through. They sit down in their big room. And they run through a list of primary needs that they need on their team. And they categorize 1 through 5, top 5. And if they can poach from you their number one need, then that's what they're going to do. So me personally, I always feel like you can go and plug and play and keep doing this whole process of 2 years, 3 years, trying to find a quarterback. But it's hard. It is hard. Without a shadow of a doubt. It is inherently hard to find a premier left tackle. And especially be one young enough to actually be able to sustain himself and not get injured and be efficient year after year after year. So them guys don't just show up. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of big dudes out there, but a whole lot of them ain't still playing in the NFL. So first and foremost, I will be looking to ask you what your second need is, because I don't want to give you
draft picks.
I don't want to give up my protection.
Okay, we'll take them. I want Tunsil and draft picks.
Oh man! See now I just feel like you're being greedy, bro. Because like you know my tackle is gonna be the hardest position for me to replace.
I'm greedy only because I ain't eaten in a long time, so I want Tunsil and draft picks.
I don't want you to starve, but you can't feast over here on me. So we gotta take Tunsil off the table, bro. You can have as many draft picks. You can have the value.
So the value you have is Burrow has the same value as Tunsil.
It's almost like you can't have one without the other, because if you have Burrow, you don't got a left tackle, man.
Yeah, you got Julian Davenport.
Well, here's why I'm asking that, guys, because we keep looking at it. I know I said that we have Tunsil now. I kind of cornered myself for that. But the reason why I'm asking that is what we got for Tunsil, 2 firsts and a second, is that the equivalence of what Burrow is worth?
That's what I will be offering. Yeah. When you took a premier left tackle, bro, young premier left tackle in this league with a huge upside, and he's going to continue to skyrocket up, and we traded him for a first, 2 firsts, and a second. Kenny Stills, I don't even factor Kenny Stills into the deal. I think they just threw Kenny Stills in just because they needed to make it look sexy.
They needed another guy.
Make it look sexy. But at the very least, those 2 firsts. Okay, well, let's say Stills was a second. But those 2 firsts was Tunsil. And, yeah, I ain't sending you no more than that for Burrow. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not my fault.
I agree, Ballgame. My limit with the quarterbacks and with the 2 top guys is 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Anything other than that, I'm cringing.
Yeah.
I'm cringing.
That's option 3.
Yeah, I can't do it. But go ahead.
Can I ask you this? I got a good question for all of you, and I want to hear every single one of your answers. Let's go through every single one, starting from TD to FinStank to Ballgame to Esteban. Option 2 and option 3. Would you rather give that up for Joe Burrow or offer that to the Houston Texans for Deshaun Watson?
I'll go first.
Reason ain't right for that one. He ain't right for that one.
He's proven.
He actually gave us one we had to hold on. Let me review this again.
I'm going to get hot, baby.
Because I'm calling Phil O'Brien, and I'm probably getting that done. I don't know. Let's hear what you guys got to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're saying give that up for Deshaun Watson?
No, what the picks that we would have been given up to get Burrow, give that up for Deshaun. So in option 3, you would be giving up 18, 26, and 39. And one of your...
You can have them.
Yeah.
For how many? For Watson? Oh, for Watson?
You see what he did?
Man, I'm throwing. Listen, I'll throw you in like 20. Hey, I throw you in a 2022 as well.
Parker would be 1,500 yards. Preston is probably going to be.
Yeah, but okay, Finsanity.
Come on,
Finsanity. Don't you realistically think option 2 or option 3 could actually seriously bring the Texans to the table?
Yeah.
Is that really that far-fetched?
How old is Watson?
Is that really that far-fetched?
He ain't even 25, bro.
Yeah, Watson's young.
Listen, let me say this. Let me help y'all out.
He needs what's the name? He
that
needs
was
to
tough,
regain
man.
himself
But I
with
guess
his GM.
let me help y'all out.
I would
okay?
go for Watson just for the fact that he's already proven he's in the league and he's established, and you don't have.
And he's already saying he wants out.
You can keep trucking, man.
I think we all would agree.
We're going to have to pay him, but where do we find the money to pay him?
Thank you. I think we all agree we would pull the trigger, but the reality is,
where do we pay him?
That it's not possible.
Well,
now it's possible.
Yeah, you trade X, you trade Alvin Wilson.
So you would give away the option and X?
Yeah.
Well, apparently you're
going to trade X anyways.
Well,
most likely
for the quarterback.
And the cap is supposed to be $256 million potentially next year.
Yes, he's going.
Now it is. I will say that if the cap goes to 256, all these deals that were just signed, and I think that's what Miami's relying on. We got steals, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
we got steals.
We're projected to have, like, if it goes up to 256, we could carry over. We could have over 70 million in cap next year.
But let me tell you this though. Let me tell y'all this, okay?
So
If that cap does go to 256, let me tell y'all something.
Go get Jones, man.
All of that stuff goes out of the window for about 2 years. All those high-paid quarterbacks will be on par.
Yeah.
It won't be as high to the salary cap. Teams will still be able to get some good pieces on their roster. But, I mean, other teams are still purging good pieces for more prices, but for a higher price. But you're going to see these elite quarterbacks winning games. These good quarterbacks. Man, but Watson? What? Listen, man, I'll just be honest with y'all. I'm actually not even the biggest fan of Deshaun Watson.
What?
I love him.
I wasn't. I'm not. I'm like really.
He's still. Listen, that kid still has. He still hasn't even touched his ceiling yet, TD.
Watson has one thing in common with Burrow that I give him, man.
I'm waiting to see his ceiling.
When the play breaks down, Watson will still get it done for you, man. That's the thing that he brings to the table that Joe Burrow has. The thing about these two guys, man, that I got to
get to the playoffs
is no. That's not all him.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't put that out on him.
Aside
from watch what he did with Clemson. That's
these guys. The elite quarterbacks make the difference, right?
No, the defense. The defense win them games, man. Knock it out. Come on, TD. Don't do that.
You know I agree with y'all. I'm making a point.
Did he not come back against Buffalo and that defense? Don't do that.
Don't give me no Buffalo credit.
Buffalo has good defense.
Stop that bitch. Josh Allen gave them every opportunity to win that game.
So Buffalo didn't have a good defense?
Yeah, they did, but Josh Allen gave them every opportunity to win that game. Think about it. What Buffalo did with that great defense is shut him down for 3 quarters until Buffalo gave him every opportunity to win that game. Let's be real here now.
Okay.
And what happened in the playoffs?
In the Super Bowl, don't do that because you're still not going to negate Tom Brady and what he did.
I'm just saying, he elite. He's supposed to be going to AFC Championship games.
Hey, man. Brady did what he did because that defense strapped down and they shut the Atlanta Falcons down. So don't you do that now.
What?
Now Brady did what he did, but I'm like, hey, that defense strapped up. Gilmore and them boys strapped up.
We're not going to because they stopped running the ball. What I'm going to say is we're not going to. And Tevin Coleman got hurt or something like that. But what we're not going to do is not going to negate.
Bill put 8 in the box. Listen, Bill put 8 in the box and said, "Beat us."
And they should have did that from the beginning.
Gilmore,
and they should have did that from the beginning.
Julio Jones.
But what I'm saying is Deshaun Watson by himself throwing the ball came out and just killed it. They had to bring in James White. Like he's always been that ace trump card. I'll just put James White in and we'll see what happens.
I think
Like,
Belichick had just as much to do with that comeback as anything because he strategically put them in position to.
We went down 25 points.
No, I mean, who's gonna
Hold on now.
Who's gonna call? Who's gonna be the one to manage the game to come back in the Super Bowl like that? And not to mention, we're talking about the Texans and the Texans and the Bills game. I think that was like just bad coaching at the end because neither team could capitalize. Just bad play calling. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what I saw when I saw the game. I'm like, what the? They were just doing the wrong things.
Deshaun took the game over. We're not going to
here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell you. That game in that first half, the Falcons came out and did something that no one thought they were going to do, and they committed themselves to running the ball.
Right.
And they did that, and that was a game plan that I don't think Belichick had in line. They thought they were going to come out and feature Julio and those boys, and that wasn't the case. He was handing that ball off. And that's how they got down. But third quarter,
Matt
2
Ryan,
minutes in, done deal. No, you gotta beat, yeah, Matt, you gotta beat us. Your run game, non-existent. That's why I say across the board. Anybody can say whatever they want to say.
Shanahan.
I know Tom is the GOAT.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
I know Tom is the GOAT. Right?
We know Shanahan's back in the Super Bowl.
It was Shanahan's play calling.
We know Shanahan's
play calling and Bill's ability to go in and make the adjustment.
You know what's crazy?
But I'm saying
I could give him the pass. I could give him the pass for putting the ball in Matt Ryan's hand more that year because that was the year Matt Ryan was the MVP.
Right.
I can't give him the pass for putting the ball like how he did in Garoppolo's hand when they were that high up.
Right.
I can't give him a pass for that.
That's what happens when coaches try to prove a point instead of sticking with the game plan.
Hey, they got egos too.
No, Insanity. Did you hear Lil Wayne talk about how we went to the after party and how we met? He said Kyle Shanahan seemed more concerned with meeting me than just losing the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know why? What do you do? No. But you know why? You know why though?
Because he named his son after Lil Wayne.
That plus the fact that across the board, I believe
he'll be back.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But you can't take things for granted in the NFL like that. Bro.
You know that. I know that. There's a whole bunch of history to suggest that your shot is your shot, and you need to take advantage of it. But
that was Marino. Remember Marino? What did Marino famously say after his loss to the San Francisco 49ers? He thought, whatever, we'll be back. And what happened?
And the Saints window is closing very rapidly. You could tell by them going out and getting Sanders. Like,
you know what? If I was the Saints, I would be the one giving up the farm for Joe Burrow because that's the ideal fit. Same offense, exact same offense he ran at LSU. Gets to go in it, gets to stay at home, gets to stay at a dome so you can cover the arm strength deficiencies. Boom! That's the ideal
Atlanta plays in a dome, so that's 4 games.
Because they only got Drew Brees signed for another 2 seasons, and then they're gonna have to figure something out. So they need to be finding some type of replacement for him soon. Anyway, somebody that he can groom. Take it over because
it ain't Taysom. I don't care what they tell me.
Yeah, it ain't Taysom Hill. Yeah. See, I don't understand that. You know, to me, now mind you, never played quarterback a day of my life, but I can look at a guy. As from the defensive perspective, I can look at a guy and say, he's not gonna beat us. I don't see anything that people are talking about that tells me that Taysom Hill is the guy that could go out and effectively be. No, I just don't see it.
They said it last year when they didn't put him in.
In college, that would be an awesome quarterback, but not the pros, bro.
I just don't see it. I don't know. I mean, okay, his versatility of being able to play all these different spots and all that stuff. Okay, so you can get a little gimmicky with your offense, but gimmicks ain't gonna win you. Gimmicks aren't gonna win against my defense. I'm sorry, you're not gonna beat me with gimmicks. We're gonna line up, smack you in the mouth. And we're going to make you earn everything you get. And I just don't see Taysom Hill ever being the type of guy that can get that done.
Dude, I forget who it was, but someone in the past weeks, it's a former player, came out and said that Taysom Hill is the better version of Lamar Jackson. I was like, what? I was like, what are you on right now?
Please send me some of that doing this. Please, this quarantine. You know what I mean? Oh, my God.
Nuts, bro. They're just haters. Lamar's always going to have his haters, I think.
It's good to have a guy like that on your team to add a different aspect to your offense. So,
for sure. Yeah.
So that's why I'm not hating too much on, if the Dolphins wanted to get
who's our new version of Pat White?
What's his name from Oklahoma?
Oh, you talking about Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. I don't know why his name slipped my mind. Yeah.
Okay.
I would rather wait on De'Aaron King.
Buddy, I would rather if I'm going to draft a backup this round. I mean, if I'm going to draft a backup, I'm either taking James Morgan from Florida International or I'm taking Anthony Gordon from Washington.
From Washington State.
Yeah.
And I see Green Mile.
I said it.
Yeah, you're hating on King, bro. And
Listen, you want to become better than this.
Hey, no, I ain't hating on him. I actually like King, man. I don't have an issue with King,
he's gonna be decent. He's gonna be decent after the transfer.
Yeah.
He better be decent.
Decent, yeah. But Green Mile is in here saying Burrow is Cutler 2.0, and I'll tell you, you're wrong. You know who Burrow is? And I'll tell you right now. And this is the perfect comp. He's a more accurate Tony Romo. That's exactly what Joe Burrow is.
I see that.
What this guy say he was?
Dead on.
And healthy.
But I believe he gonna be a lot healthier too than Tony.
Oh, for sure.
He's Tony
Tony
Romo with better instincts though, because Romo was getting killed, man.
If you think about it though, when Tony Romo was in his prime though, there was a whole bunch of teams hoping they could find him a Tony Romo.
It's funny.
That dude would light you up.
It's just he couldn't win in the playoffs.
Couldn't win in the playoffs. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, because now whenever I watch De'Aaron King, I'm actually gonna watch you win this year because.
Hey,
I ain't knocking him. You know what I mean? I like the kid, man.
He's all right.
But how do you guys feel though about this? What's going on? We were talking about potentially drafting Tua even after all these medical concerns, especially his hip, and then we don't have the chance to actually, visibly get out there and see the guy, and so now you're kind of in a position where you kind of have to really consider moving up to get the quarterback that you want. Now, you have to take serious consideration about it.
Well, I think
you know what they can do. I don't know if you saw what the new rule came out that they can actually watch, if you want to call it a pro day, but they can watch workouts outside of the NFL facilities. So all you technically have to do is hook up Skype to and say, hey, why don't you get your way down to Miami, work out at a local high school on their field, and we can come watch. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be private workouts and workarounds that way, I think.
But with Tua, you gotta have somebody that's going to be able to make sure that his movements there, man.
Listen.
Like, you know what I mean?
They'll make sure the proper people are there to ensure that what they need to see.
There'll be an army. There'll be an army there.
I think the thing is that he's still probably right now at this point the guy they want. But if they can make the leap up and it not have to cost as much as the Bengals want, I think the Dolphins will move up to number one and go take Burrow. And then they won't have to worry about as much of the health concern things, and you'll take that into consideration and then say, okay, well, this is the guy we wanted, but this is the guy we got because we don't see much difference in the two of them.
It's crazy though,
I don't know. They're close. They're really close when you actually look and break down. Like, okay, people say the 1 season for Burrow versus the 2.5, seasons for Tua or whatnot, whatever the case may be. But when you look at it, they're pretty close, right? So you can't really go wrong either way. And if Tua was healthy, we all can agree that if he was healthy, 100% healthy, prior to any of this, he'd be the number one guy off the board right now. He'd be number one. Mm-hmm. That goes without saying. I don't think nobody would want to put up a bigger argument. Even though Joe had an historic season, what Tua had did in the past 2 seasons would put him right there in the conversation. They'd be 1 and 2. With Chase Young, 1, 2, 3, somewhere in there. Those three guys would be the first 3 off the board. Can we agree on that?
I don't agree with that.
I
just look. I don't, man, because of what Burrow did all year. It was consistent, man. And if the way that I see it is, there's so many people that are so on that Kyler Murray, did good. But he only did it
prior to him getting injured, bro. He was lighting folks up, man.
Yeah, 33 touchdowns.
Okay, but what I'm saying is
the dude wasn't even playing in the fourth quarters.
But he only did it 1 year in college, and Burrow did the same thing. But Burrow
Burrow
went
the whole
9. He went all season, and they won the championship. Man,
okay,
I just think he faced more adversity than Kyler Murray ever did in college. With all the teams that he played, he did it in the SEC.
Who faced more adversity?
Burrow.
They both did.
Bro, he has when you look at his team, he has arguably a top 10 college team of all time around.
But how many? But you can say you can put all the statistics in that you want, though. No. Because you can put in all the statistics that you want, but when you actually watch the games and you watch all the broken plays when this guy makes plays, when they break down and he still makes something happen, man, that's just his instincts, man.
Listen, you're selling Burrow or you're selling Murray?
Burrow.
You guys know, you guys got everybody in this panel already know without shadow of a doubt. I'm not a fan of quarterbacks, period. Forget about it, right? But when you look at I really did this now because I had the building. I've been sitting here for a minute now, and I went back and I looked at all this tape and all this film, bro. Like I see why they want this kid Tua, bro. Like real talk. And dude, prior to him getting hurt, the dude already had 30-some plus touchdowns.
33 and 3.
And he wasn't even playing the fourth quarters.
Yeah.
Like, it was unreal. Now, and when you take a look at, I made the argument, I was saying, he had these top receivers and all that stuff. But Jamar Chase and Jefferson were just as comparable, bro. Like, real talk.
Ball game. The LSU receiving core led the nation in yards after catch.
Yeah. So they were one and the same. So that's why I'm saying when you look at it statistically and you look at what they did and what they accomplished, it's hard for anyone to argue between who you should go with. It all comes down to preference for me in terms of who you prefer more. You prefer to have your team built around, a guy. Okay, either way you go, you can't go wrong. I don't think a healthy Tua. Regardless of what anybody feels and believes, I believe without shadow of a doubt, a healthy Tua would have been the number one quarterback off the board. Because he's got a larger body of work. Because Joe Burrow's, not to take away from what he did this year, last season for him was not that great.
No, it wasn't.
But this year, yes, did he jump onto the scene, took control of it, and said, "It's mine. I got this, and ain't nobody gonna be better than me"? Yes, he did that.
Can I make this bullet point 2 ball game to kind of back you up with what you're saying? A lot of people are not taking into account. Not only did the offensive scheme change, brother, they implemented a scheme that won a freaking Super Bowl in the NFL. So when you look at defenses you're going to face, even if they're SEC. Take away how many players are not going to get drafted and how many are jabronis. How many of them can't how many of them can't handle spread offenses, let alone a legitimate Super Bowl winning implemented offense? Like people do not realize how much that scheme truly helped. And another thing is Joe Brady is a former wide receiver. That whole scheme, when you break it down, when you go to the Saints or when you go to LSU, what's it based on? It's based on getting open space for receivers. That's what it's based on. That's why you would see him intermediate over the middle a ton. Like when you break down Joe Burrow's game, if he's this elite, why is intermediate throws outside the numbers, which is one of the most translatable throws from the college to quarterback level, why was he only 21 of 43 for 333 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 picks? That's not good. Whereas Tua, when he goes outside the numbers, we talked about this a couple days ago, ball game, did he or did he not light up Derek Stingley, the best corner in the nation, outside the numbers?
He questioned.
And that's
you could watch the Alabama game and see that because he was throwing it out of bounds.
I understand your point of outside the numbers, but inside the hash, that's Burrow's game, man.
No, it's not, because if you actually watch him,
who's to say that's not going to translate to the pros, man?
But it's not in the hash, because another thing when you compare Tua and Burrow, when you watch the slants, the slant is one of the most used routes in the NFL. Tua's are constantly pretty much pinpoint in stride. That's why he's second in the nation and actually plus passes in tight windows, because he's pretty pinpoint in stride. Doesn't matter who's there. It's going to be check, shoulder, stride. Anyways, Burrow, if you go watch his comeback routes, what happens a lot of the time, because of his arm strength, Yep. And what happens? The corner, usually that's where picks were coming because the corner could make a play on it. Then when you go break down his slants, you had him throwing behind guys and you had him missing guys out of stride because of, again, what do you need when you throw slant? Yeah, you got to be accurate, but you also have to have some zip behind the ball. And that's what happens. He doesn't have that zip. So now he's going to go to the NFL. And if I've already got questions about your comebacks, your outside the number throws on an intermediate level, let's take the deep ball away because his receivers can take anyone over the top. When I got questions about that, and when I got questions about outside the numbers, and when I got questions about your slants, and when I got questions about your comebacks, that screams arm strength. And that's why I keep telling you, in cold weather situations, watch. It's going to be a problem. So he's not as hit of a prospect as everyone's making him out to believe. You have to break down what the scheme was, where Joe Brady comes from, and why wide receivers are getting so much open space. That's why. So Joe Burrow, as much as people want to use the product of the environment for Tua, when you actually break everything down, Joe Burrow was much more of a product because what did Saban do? Saban adapted to Tua with an air raid and a pro-style concept. It was a West Coast air raid concept, very similar to what Chan Gailey's about to run. So they built that whole offense around him, whereas that offense in LSU came mainly for the receivers to get space and get open.
I hate to admit it, but yeah. And I hate to, I'm going to be the first to say on film, on the thing that I'm always been, forget about the quarterback, but when you look at the film, I have to come back and I have to say, like, it's impressive. It is very impressive what this kid is able to do. Now, like all I'm saying is that if he was healthy, there wouldn't even be a discussion. He'd be the number one guy right out the gate.
I think everybody, yeah.
Yeah. So
my thing with everybody.
Hold up. No, I'm seeing that Miami is finalizing.
I'm seeing it too. Ian Rappaport and Adam Scheffner saying Miami is closing in on a blockbuster deal for the number one overall pick. Details coming soon.
Oh wow!
Oh
y'all gotta
my
go
gosh. It's happening, man.
Okay, so if it happens, look, listen, if it happens, we might be going to get Burrow. Look, this is all I got to say. I listened to what you guys had to say, but listen, man, this is all I'm saying.
Esteban, we're just messing around, man. It was an early April Fool's joke, man.
Oh, man, TD.
Ripping on his phone with the phone game tweeting, like.
Man, I forgot it was April, bro. You got me, dog.
It ain't April, yeah. I just know it'll be hard to get y'all the ball, man.
Is it? Today's the last day.
With an early April Fool's joke.
Look, man, this is all I gotta say is look. So his production wasn't there last year, Burrow's. Okay, I understand that, but some of that had to do with the coaching scheme, right? Then he gets his new coaching system. It's pro style. It works out for him. The guy progressed. Not everybody has that opportunity. That's not to say there's not other quarterbacks that would have been able to do that in college. All I'm saying is he is pro ready. He progressed. His instincts are there, man. That's just something that not every quarterback has, whether they have the talent or not. If their instincts aren't there, man, Tom Brady has it. And I mean, that's just something that I saw from Burrow at the college level. I'm not saying that it's going to transition, but it has potential to transition because he's shown it, that he has those instincts. You know what I mean? That's my only thing is I like Joe Burrow's instincts, bro. Like the best quarterbacks have instincts, and he has that. Not every quarterback has that, where they just
beat out. Not once, not twice. He got pushed out of his own state.
FYI.
That's all irrelevant, though. What happened this year, Insanity? What happened? He's a champion. He's the champion.
Yeah, because he's on a top 10 team. He's on a top 10 team of all time on both sides of the ball, man. Like I think you're really sleeping on what. Like, yo, I'll tell you right now, Tua didn't have that defense, and as good as Wills and as good as Leatherwood are, I'll take the LSU line interiorly over what Alabama had in the interior.
And let's be honest. Bama was playing way too much zone, then get way too comfortable in their zone. Just like
Trevon Diggs hurt his stock this year because of what they were running.
You got two.
I don't know why they shifted so much to zone when they've always been a man press team. Oh, exactly. Hey, just a tidbit of information. I wish Ian were here, but no one took more defensive snaps on the Dolphins defense this year than Jerome Baker at 96.51%. He not going nowhere.
Listen,
but you know what?
I would love to see Jerome against Kittle. Like if I would love to see Jerome against like Kittle and Kelsey, because that right there is where you can earn your contract.
He can cover him.
Exactly. Like that's what I would love to keep him here for. But we're gonna have to see how we work that out.
Maybe not so much. Maybe I don't know. Kelsey will be hard though. Jerome be giving up almost 40 pounds with Kelsey, but Kittle,
he's got a good vertical, man.
Yeah, he could deal with. I think he can run with Kittle.
As long as he can tackle.
As long as he's there, though, right? Yeah. Gotta give him some space, though. You can't try to jam at the line of scrimmage. They're gonna run right over him, though. Yeah, the boy too strong.
Well, guys, the stream is about to end soon. The kids are up, obviously. Y'all can hear. I got a good hour, almost an hour and a half in. It was only supposed to be an hour. But these are all things we're going to keep an eye on, man. And who knows what's going to end up happening. It's a lot of variables in place of what should happen. I just like the idea of having number 1 and 5 because that's 2 blue chip players that can really impact our team day one. However, whoever those 2 players are, I'm not going to sit here and say who it's going to be. Whoever it is for you, just imagine having the 1st and the 5th pick overall and what we could do with that in this year's draft and getting some positions that we really want. But we still have the panel show tonight. Y'all let me know if y'all going to be able to come in tonight. Ball game look like he down. Reason, you good tonight?
Yeah, I'll be around.
Awesome. Finsanity? She can't hear.
She can't hear.
Or she muted.
Nah, I can hear.
Oh, well, we'll see if Insanity can make it tonight. I don't know if Esteban's coming through.
I'm gonna be here.
I don't know if Esteban. Okay, we'll see. Well, we'll see. All right, Esteban. If you, all right, cool. I can't wait to see you all tonight. Today EM was busy. They're working on the new Dr. Tua tape. So we'll get his thoughts on what we can expect on the next tape out of the 10 errors Tua made. They're gonna find one of them that's right.
Hey, Reason. Hey, this thing says, you ever thought about the possibility that the Packers might try to get up there to go get Jordan Love?
Yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah,
you think they're moving off of Aaron Rodgers within the next 2 years?
I mean, I'm just saying, he up there. He up there in age.
When did he do for a contract again?
They just signed one 2 years ago, didn't he?
And we do a mock draft tonight.
I'm telling you guys, like, after that combine, from what I understand, Love went to 3 on a lot of people's boards, man. I was watching I think Dan Orlovsky, he's been like breaking down film while he's been on quarantine or whatever. And he made something today. He's like, now I know why McShay bet $5,000 against Kuiper, because he makes throws like this. And that's what I've been saying. Yo, I'm telling you, it's crazy. No talent around him, yet 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 throws a game where you'd be like, how the heck did he make that throw? You know what I mean?
I feel good at knowing that my team does love Joe Burrow. I will say that. I feel good knowing that my team does love Joe Burrow, and he's a potential quarterback of the future as well.
Man, they love Tua too, though, bro.
Listen.
Yeah, there's different types of love, ball game.
Listen.
Oh, you know I know. I know.
I'll say this. If we fell in love with Fitz just throwing the ball up and we get love, no pun intended, y'all better give that man the same respect y'all gave Fitz if he's out there week 1. If he's out there week 1 and we try to get a different player early in the
They better love Josh Rosen when he beat Fitz out in France.
I know that's right.
Listen, I'm gonna love any quarterback behind center. I'm gonna love any quarterback behind the center. For the
Reason
Dolphins, all right?
Reason
like, can you please end the stream on that note?
I'm not letting it go until he's gone off the roster, bro. I'm just saying, like, he's still there. So
it's gonna be a New England Patriot.
Oh, that's gonna hurt us bad, man. That's gonna hurt us.
If this defense can be what we believe it can be, and we just put a young quarterback in opportune situations, and we have a running game.
If Josh Rosen go to the New England Patriots, we're gonna be in trouble.
Because don't forget, Roethlisberger had the bus.
I'm sorry, they're gonna be in trouble, man.
All right, guys, I got a minute. I got a minute and 15 seconds. So let me tell everybody, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Once again, we found out that YouTube, the only way that they let other people know about the channel is by those who watch hitting the like button. So, yeah, so punch that like button. That's going to help the algorithm tell YouTube, hey, people like this. Let me go ahead and share it with people who haven't even been looking for it, just in case that way they can know that TD FinStalk is here. So y'all can do me a favor by hitting that like button. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all go check out that breaking news by Ian Rappaport with the Blockbuster deal. Early April Fools to those who got. Yeah, that's verbiage. Got. But I love y'all.
Tomorrow it's gonna go down. You know you're gonna be reading stuff. So be careful tomorrow.
Hey, I'm taking it all real. Tua not going to Miami. Oh yeah. No. But all right, y'all. I'm out of here, man. It's time to love on the family for a little bit. I will see y'all tonight for the panel. We're trying to shoot around 9 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, but I'll get with the panelists if we need to change the time and do something that's more feasible for everybody. But again, y'all keep EM in your prayers. He out there not practicing social distancing. He out there making that Dr. Tua tape. So y'all just keep him up. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Love y'all, man. Appreciate you, Esteban. All right, ball game. Man. Reason as always, and Finsanity. Love you. I'll see y'all later, guys.
Later.
Oh, they done left me on the screen by myself. So TD, about to go to death. I'm about to rhyme. I can't freestyle no more, man. I gotta get back on the mic, man. Let me try one real quick. Okay, 1, 2, 3. ABC. We drafting Tua, no, not me. TD wants Derek Brown. Peace.